reason. Nobody feel about this, the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution. Yeah. No respect on selfishness and cooperation. That's how we need to build a strong nation. I'm a free up and not blue skies. I'm nothing that people get victimized. Let's work together for better. We got to unite. Belize, yeah. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving. Na. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Voice of opinion and place your calling. WB. Get up. Make every day count up. Wasted people. Do your part. Play your role. Get where you need to. Look and tune in for work or in your vehicle. If you got a problem, pick up the phone. Why wait till the time calling? It's not so we no matter even if you're at home. Just call in. WB. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving. Na. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Voice of opinion and place your calling. WB. Be yourself, see yourself, this is a show, my people. Believe our hopes so to needless reason. Nobody feel about this, the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution. Yeah. No respect on selfishness and cooperation. That's all we need to. We are the people to make the changes. We are the changes. WB. And all the things that we feel happen and not got blue skies. And nothing that people get victimized. Let's work together for better. We got to unite. Belize, yeah. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving. Na. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Voice of opinion and place your calling. WB. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving. Na. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Voice of opinion and place your calling. WB. Be yourself, see yourself, this is a show, my people. Believe our hopes so to needless. Be yourself, see yourself, this is a show, my people. Believe our hopes so to needless reason. Nobody feel about this, the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution. Yeah. On selfishness and cooperation. That's how we need to build a strong nation. We are the people to make the changes. We are the changes. WB. And all the things that we feel happen and not got blue skies. And nothing that people get victimized. Let's work together for better.
Good morning, Belize. Welcome to the WUB Wake Up Belize morning vibes for today, Monday, the 16th of March, 2026. We hope that your Monday morning to a beautiful start. I'm Mose, and coming to you live on Creme Radio and on XTV for the first morning of the week. We want to welcome you to Belize's premier morning conversation. All right. As always, we got to welcome everybody. We're glad that we're there. I'm actually not in studios right now. I'm actually hosting remotely. But it's the same conversation. All right. Not in studios, but we are bringing to you Belize's premier morning conversation right here on Creme Radio and Next TV. We got to welcome everybody that's here, those listening to us on Creme Radio, those watching us on XTV, to those getting us via our apps. We hope that you have those apps on your devices already, like Weird Wait Pan, like getting things, right? To the people who are locked in via social media, whether Facebook, whether YouTube, great. Good to have you here. And to those getting us via simulcast coverage. As always, we give thanks for the health and strength to be here, the life inside of us, to those out there that are a part of our conversation today. Join us right on time. Happy you've done that. We trust that this morning you have great health. We trust that energy level is extremely high. Your vibration is positive. And indeed, we hope that you've got a little space in your busy morning to finally spot for we, make we just become a part of it. And you better know that we have a spot for you. That is when we have finished the preliminaries. That means we give you a little bit of morning news. Before we do that, we got your weather forecast. The morning news will be followed by the opening up of the conversation. That's when really and truly can come and take a spot, your rightful place. So, it's Monday morning. WUB, make we do this. Monday, 16th March, 2026. We start off with the weather forecast, and immediately following the weather forecast, we are going to jump into the morning news.
Good morning, Belize. Generally fair conditions prevailing. Thereafter, the approach and passage of a cold front will bring some changes. The 24-hour forecast for Belize and her coastal waters calls for mostly sunny skies today, and high temperatures are expected to reach 87 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, to 94 inland, and 84 over the mountains. Tonight, the skies will be partly cloudy with low temperatures of 80 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, to 70 inland and 65 in the higher elevations. Little to no rain is expected except for the chance of isolated thunderstorms developing over inland areas during the afternoon or evening hours. The winds will blow from the east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots, and the sea state will be choppy. A high tide will occur at 8:45 this morning, a low at 2:21 in the afternoon, another high at 8:32 tonight, and a low at 3:20 tomorrow morning. The sun will rise at 1 minute to 6 this morning and set at 2 minutes past 6 this evening, low to moderate for the next 24 hours. And that concludes your morning forecast that was prepared here at the National Meteorological Service.
The first private radio in Belize since 1989, Creme FM presents the news. Informative, accurate, current information, local, regional, and international news, weather and sports. And now, the news.
Wandered off when an older sibling was sent to make a purchase. When he returned without Asher, the family launched a search for him. Police investigation continues. Last week, the Brody's pharmacist informed that a prescription will be required for all prescription medication. The move follows notice from the Ministry of Health that it will begin strict enforcement of the regulations. We note that back in March 2022, the ministry circulated a list of over-the-counter medications for general sales from 2020. Whatever is not on the list requires a prescription. In recent weeks, the ministry has been conducting information sessions across the country with retail outlets and stores and importers and wholesalers of medications. Some have raised concern that the requirement can place an additional financial burden on citizens to obtain a prescription, while others point out that public clinics can be used to obtain prescriptions. At the same time, medical practitioners emphasize the need to avoid the improper use of medication, including antibiotics. The seat of Ombudsman has been vacant since the end of December last year, when retired Major Gilbert Swazo was notified that his contract would not be renewed. Notwithstanding that, there has been no word on the post being filled. In last week's House meeting, the Prime Minister introduced an amendment to the Ombudsman Act to clarify the emoluments payable to the holder of the office. Mexican authorities have confirmed that 2 bodies were discovered in plastic bags on Friday morning near the train tracks in Subteniente Lopez, Quintana Roo, just across the northern border. The victims have since been identified as one N, believed to be around 50 years old, and Andres N, who is believed to be around 27 years old. Both men were observed with gunshot injuries to their heads. The discovery of the bodies has heightened concern among Belizeans, especially those who regularly travel to Chetumal for shopping and tourism, and who were already cautious following recent criminal incidents in that area. And that is the end of the morning news update here inside the WB Wake Up Morning Vibes. We'll take ourselves a small break. When we come back on the other side, you know what it happened, right? We are opening up the conversation right here inside the WB Wake Up Morning Vibes. We'll be right back.
Informative, accurate, current information. CREM's newscast. Local, regional, and international news. Weather and sports.
You need. Depending on your transaction type, we may need to verify your identity through a set of security questions. And remember, Atlantic Bank will never request your username or password for Atlantic Online via phone call, text, or email, ensuring your personal information remains safe and secure. Our support team is available Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. in both English and Spanish. Simply dial 223-1212. This is a dedicated line for our contact center. Atlantic Bank is committed to providing you with exceptional service and the tools you need to manage your finances conveniently and securely. Take full advantage of our easy-to-use contact center services today.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Smart for everybody. Smart leading everything. Smart give you everything. Smart offer everything. Smart give you everything. North to the east and the south and the west. Smart are the best. Darling, double up my data and give me all the text. In fact, give me a plan for my family. Unlimited calls so me like it. And Smart make everybody feel happy. Bringing people together, me want it now. Smart got love for everybody. Me want my Smart plan. Want it right now. Me want my Smart plan. Want it right now. More bundles, data plan. Me want my smartphone, internet in my hand. Call me want my Smart plan. Want it right now. Smart. Stay connected. Stay happy.
Amandala is now online. You can now access Amandala's midweek and weekend issues online by logging on to our website at amandala.com.bz/news and joining our membership portal today. There's 5 easy steps to get unlimited access to weekly e-paper, archive publications, and a host of other exclusive contents. Number 1, go to Amandala's website. Number 2, navigate to subscribed areas. Number 3, choose a membership level. Number 4, check out using our secured portal. Number 5, log into the members only section. Telephone numbers 501-280-4703 or 202-4477. Fax us at 501-222-4702, or you could email at amandalapress@yahoo.com or amandalapress@gmail.com. Amandala, all power to the people.
All right, Billies, welcome back to the WB Wake Up Billies Morning Vibes. Mose Hyde here with you on this Monday morning, the 16th of March, 2026. We want to welcome back all our listeners and viewers, Creme Radio and XTV. I'm Mose Hyde on this Monday morning. I'm hosting remotely, but we are still operational when it comes to everything, and we have the ability to take your calls, but on WhatsApp, we'll direct line to our cell number, which is 672-4770. So let me just repeat. The number is 672-4770. We want your calls. All right. So last week it was Reef Week. We're not doing Reef Week again. So give thanks to all the people who were a part of that celebration. Last week, of course, 4 days we were in the Sappadilla Key Range. We were at Nicholas Key, and want to thank everybody that has given so much positive feedback of the type of content that we produce there. A lot of it we put online, so you can still check it out on Facebook. We have a first call of the morning. Creme, good morning, WB.
Morning, my brother. You hear me good?
I hear you loud and clear, my brother. You enter the chat.
Why?
I hear you in a good mood.
Hey, man, got you. Then I'm a designer fabrics, man.
Then touch your pieces.
Yes. And when they don't, they got it hard for. And when they don't, they got it hard for to walk on in the streets with me pieces on.
Yeah.
Most Saturday, you know, I do the half day of work.
Yeah.
And when I don't do my shift, I come home, which I like less than 5 minutes to reach home. Most when I reach my yard, 15 young wide in my yard. The whole yard, if you know my yard set up, the whole yard mess up with coconut all over the place. I don't know if the young man know that yeah, I live here, I don't live here, but as I reach here, I started to cuss up because I tell her one or two of them, but so I cuss up. Man, they run. They not hold every day. This is something when I do religiously. Right? I don't do my full investigation. When I get in my house, the house turn right over. From when I left it, the man clean. The house turn over. When I tell her turn over, rice over the place, beans over the place. That, I don't matter what about them. Because I don't realize that touch. When I do, the burglar bar have this plastic. See, the AC, you have this plastic frame thing. They punch that out and they open the burglar bar door. I usually just lock the burglar bar front door and back door. And I lock the big door. Most when I come in at the place, I find 2 bags done pack already. All the man in the teeth are just closed. All the man in the teeth are just closed. I don't find 2 bags done pack. When I check the whole school, and I'm a watch. I have an expensive watch here. I don't know if you remember the watch there. The guy I'm watching, I lot of thing they got with. Right? When I don't find them, when I see one of them have a got in there, they pack a barrel. The barrel still there, I still have to try the barrel. The man, they come with I don't know what kind of thing I put the barrel on the is in the shop. I think I shot here, Paul, where you calling? Yeah. The man they come to carry the barrel with.
Well, that's the man that the thing when they carry like refrigerator and stove and so the cart, the lead,
Yes, the cart, yes. I still have picture it. Well, the one of them have that. I follow him, and I can't just follow him. And this whole thing I slipped down because I didn't have on my phone. I usually got my phone in my hand. But I think that way I made it get big time. So I follow him in a yard, he broke away. When I tell him he broke away, he gone. I pay no mind. Gone the police. Call the police and make a report. The police and call the investigators and come in and do fingerprint, all kind of thing. Take picture of everything. Right? Half an hour for that. I find out that they gone down. By hanging they gonna swim. All of them can't get a video no. I can be there all of them. Right? They gonna swim. So I dog them when they come back, come back to the same yard because when I get to understand that the yard they terrorize people a long time. But they call that yard they terrorize. In fact, the investigators they said they gone to the yard in a week. Anthony. Right? This is the same set of young boys run about with the horse, you know. Was run about with the horse in the car. All the young boys I know all them, man. All I know me. Half an hour for that, when I got back, I booked one of them. Right? I seen me. He find the leaders one out of the crowd. I think that a leader. He see me, he broke away. Right? No, they can't just that they're hot and they can't just that they're up at the panel trail. No, they can't just that they're hot and they can't just that they're up at the panel trail. Much after all of that said and done, you know, yesterday, all the young boys come back to my yard. Come confess if they say, who thief what? Who the thief this? Who thief? All I come back, you know. 3 and 8 in the crowd, and it's about 10 and 8 come back. Because they had a blame game, they got big fight in my yard, you know. Because this one, they blame the one, they blame the one. When they done, they all like 3 and 8 out of the crowd, got time, same clothes. I don't tell them nothing, they got time clothes on the last night about their shop again. And they got time clothes. I don't tell them nothing, they got time clothes on the last night about their shop again. And they got time clothes. I don't tell them nothing. Right? I don't tell them nothing. Because when I done from there, I gone and I booked 1 and I booked 2 and last night. Anytime you see me they run moves, anytime you see me they run. The thing where I trick about Mose because I know all anytime you see me they run. The thing where I trick about Mose because I know all of them parents. Yesterday evening I gonna run. And in the meantime I'm gonna do me to say come and one of them parents start up and where I know good. She said, because the word they out know, she said somebody tell me I told my picking up part of my crowd blocking a brick house. And when I show she the video, she tell me she all in parent. But Mose, all in parent. But Mose, the word on the street, they why get hurt because like all that come out now and they know they broken house people they say that things when they do long time they go front of Publix, they walk bike. They just come out and they do like right in the neighborhood. Yeah. And everybody know them. The sad part about this month, the big 12 o'clock in the day between 12:30 and 1 o'clock, the young body broke in my house. Neighbor, everybody sitting. But neighbors say they're not conscious of that, then they do right there. You see, when they're conscious of when they're sitting in all and they broke right on the street, pop way, then they conscious of some stripping this thing, though. Yeah. So all the neighbors around come hear me and tell me, they still don't know. Moses are the same young boy then. Well, I don't know if I remember me tell her I have one expensive bike where I used to work up and see how I walk my bike. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Brick, and I left in the bike, you know.
Brick, I understand the level of frustration and I understand the level of where I say disgust will have anybody that's had their home broken into, you feel violated, a rough thing. So many people, you know for a fact that I experienced one number of that. I think where critical is the point where you make that the youth end up on a road where they're not a road where the outcome down the stretch one be one good one. Then they do misdemeanors right now. Well, it's a more than one misdemeanor because it's the this a burglary, this a breaking in, and so then there's some heavy offenses where could result in a jail time, and then after that, from then on there is the limited chance for them turn around and come back. And so it's important. I know that this is a personal thing for you, and so 1 year okay. The importance of a message for say, yo, then you need they need to right the ship. And yes, they don't do a monka craziness already, but they're not gone. And so ultimately we would have want to make the when you may for the age you may run wrong too, no? I know they say you do the levels when they do, but you may run wrong, right?
Because I get vexed because I tell myself they're not the simplest and stupidest set of thief. Most thief are weird thing they wear thief right away. When me thief, if that clothes I thief after a line when it used to rain, I went up, I wait till it dry, and I wait a week after. But then I wear your clothes in the neighborhood where you see me every day,
Yeah.
And you have to live in that King Park.
All right. So but you understand, yes, they know they act intelligently, but then they're at a level, they're at the age where now mischief full in head for the stupidness, right? For the stupidness, right? And for the violate. I guess the important thing that to the parents to understand, like, man, this no got no lot of good outcome, and we don't see it enough already. Eventually, very unpleasant thing will happen. They will get caught in a life. Eventually, very unpleasant thing will happen. They will get caught in a life worse than it is now, because there are some other individuals where if they may catch them in their circumstances, so bare face, wouldn't have this level of restraint where you got. You got some other individual where it may get very serious. So we don't want that for them, for real. But you know, it looks.
You know what I mean? Circling, and I tell you, I started around circling. I mean, don't grab 2, 3 and already and dash in the back of a vehicle, but the police tell me let them go car. He said that all the way for the thing, right? He said that could be kidnapping, that could be all kind of thing, because we're gonna need to shift the change. When I got a police station shift the change, and then tell me they want to deal like when they come back on work. And I show them the video. I call them one time and tell them I need police assistance because all in Eric know swim. All in Eric, I say don't do that, they gonna swim. Yeah. All in there to swim. I grab 3 and I let them go because the man said no man, you want me to make a right turn wrong. Yeah.
But I'm glad you make that. I'm glad you make that
because
choice.
Then when I grab them, I get a station on them.
Yeah.
A station to turn in.
Like I say,
but the man tell me let them go.
First of all, you know that you got some man where they never go in a police about it, you know? So I appreciate the fact that you're gonna police.
Well, the man they were the road with that, they tell me they deal too much talking. Because they put up on 2 on before they let them go check. They put up on 2 on but the man they tell me you deal too much talking there on why you could carry them for a ride. They didn't get a sense. You get what I'm saying? 15 on him. 15 on him. Ain't your book in a crowd. Yeah. I tell her. Out of 7 and 8, I could swear for there and say there's some internet thing there. Right now, most right now, the police go each one in the house and each one in the home right now to sleep. Each one in the house right now.
Yeah. So what you want to say? So what you want to say? So what you want to say happen to the youth, my brother?
I don't want to say that part, man.
Okay, but
you because the man really, you know what problem to Mose? Mm-hmm. Some parents encourage them and they already knew that me live here. They knew because the way get out fast. The way get out fast. And man they tell them about it, man they tell them boy the girl say no problem. Much man they tell them that tire shop, they tell them about it. Through the back so they tell them about it. Over here so, my parents live, they tell them about Mose live right wrong me. The young boy the house where I got like 1 lane as a tunnel lane. You get what I'm saying? The man when I come home the day and I come to my house, the man they make my pressure raise. The man they make I think the worst. So instantly I got for a vehicle and I circling. Okay?
But break, no victory no in that.
But after they call the police, check.
No victory. Brother, no victory no in that. And we have to chat fair, but because you never linked me till now you call me and give me one complete news on the Monday morning, right? But I said to you, no victory no in that. Because you know that you know that from experience you and I have had the conversation about where I gone through. I get they violate me about 3 or 4 times. Right? To some extent I had to make the choice and move from my yard. Because no good in that for say I'm going down to the level I try me personally deal with retribution or punishment. Like where that one level you're going into where you don't know the outcome. You're no victory there right now.
I tell you when I satisfied, brother. I didn't come back yesterday. That me yard come hear me. Big city, bum. Because we can now look at when they sell some of the stuff, they have shock up one another. I tell the man they got big fight in my yard. Amongst themselves. You know? Then fight up comes on one the box up next one I head. Big fight because everybody can say no. Police go down the house where yesterday you know. So now man they get back to man, police go down the house where they tell us straight. They not going out the house, they make deal the coconut. This one is say he not you know and next one is look like man is selling behind one another back another handle man. So they got big fight that he had. Tell them Bobby Town come out of my yard you know. Can I tell you what you on the fight here another video all on know. All on the same kind of in the house, right? I want to come back and try clear on the point with me because we can't punk one another. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, I have to run the money from my yard.
Well,
but I can't wait for deal with it. I can't wait for deal with it. Check. I can't wait for it because they pick up all of them, man. They pick up all of them. They got too much fun there, but they see, like I say, I be explained to me when they go to your house. When they go to the house, can they go to work and everything? When they go to the house, because they don't got the full story together, they don't chase and run all over the place and look for them. No man, they don't know who they. You know. So then, when they go to their house, that the full thing they get. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Church wine, everything, the full thing. They not because they say they been to get called on it.
Youth they have to know that. Yeah, youth they have to know that when that was a serious offense for bucking our house and then once they go to jail for that, now they have a police record, right? And now when you go on police record, now any chance you got to try change one and get one lien now become difficult because most of the legal work break where exists now, they want your police record. You want to go and say, boy, one of these years get up, you want to go join the Coast Guard, you have to show your police record. The police record become now one weight to you. I know you're confined, even if you decide to make a different track, it become far crazier. You know you talk about the part that jail not nice. You need to talk about that part there. So it might seem like fun, young, mischievous and boy, whatever, and we lawless and yeah, but there are consequences and we don't want that for the youth. Even know that you give me the account that the man violate you and carry your things and I feel you and I don't like the idea of it, but at the same time.
Why the man come and designer pieces there, boy? You know my thing there.
Yes, brother, but that's still. But you know, birds.
When I believe I come before I tell me that touch the thing I just sent for you. The man they carry me designer pieces them expensive fabric.
Yeah, but birds, nothing more expensive, nothing more valuable than their youth your life, and they need to know that no matter where brand up on some shirt or brand up on some pants or brand up on some what.
I don't remember that,
yeah, but the point then you have to understand that still not got the value of their life. And they can't dash their life over that. You know, I know how they did. I know how they focus on.
And I said, about your name, why do you conscious? That jail then they look for gold. Then we conscious like the type of crime when they pull off.
Yeah, that jail. Then that jail move, right? And so we have to say this and what we want for the youth. You understand? Like point blank for me. I can't. You're my bedroom and everything, and I know you get lick, and I don't want nobody bucking at my yard and care nothing for me.
Anybody radio there wants some Kalman left at least. Anybody radio there wants some Kalman left at least one good 50 coconut on the ground. And the coconut they are spiral. Check they go get the coconut hooks and that me say go chop and deal water. Check I got the money got drum me full, the back of the yard got that. Because you know make sense actually.
Mose Hyde hosting today, I'm doing so remotely. But everything else is the same. Still there to get you on here and putting forward your thoughts. Let me just mention that coming up after our first break, we are going to be joined by Senator Herrera. He's going to be our guest on this Monday morning. A serious conversation, and we always find Senator Herrera to be a very informed and a very principled contributor whenever he joins us. So we're very Look forward to that conversation coming up after the first break here inside the WB Wake Up Believes Morning Vibes. Yeah, that is where we are. Again, let me just repeat the telephone number is 672-4770. Live number. So, of course, our first shipment of pain arrived on midnight Thursday, midnight Friday morning. Midnight technically between Thursday and Friday, but it still is considered AM, so I guess midnight. So we woke up Friday morning to first shipment of pain. And the people, of course, have been told by the Prime Minister that, this pain will come from the Iran-Israel-US war, and that it's not unexpected. We know that the price going up, and that that this is the laws of physics. War in the Middle East, pain at the pump, and that other countries don't experience certain increase. We increase there all the way about 12%, which when I check it out, maybe the only other country where experience one increase of about 12% around the area there, Guatemala. But other countries have had increases. We, even before the price gone up, spoke on, not prophetically. There's no have to be prophetic to know how this will manifest and what response will be. And we may try to be preemptive to say certain things. We need to be clear. We don't want any we don't want no confusion. We don't understand. So we have done multiple broadcasts, and maybe we have to do another one, because it's very likely that this conflict will continue and this pain will get worse. And this pain not only when it happened at a fuel pump, because one of the things that is not being highlighted as it relates to the Strait of Hormuz, all the way by the time this is all done, we'll know exactly whether this piece of water and how the impact where it got on it. So we give a lesson. But what also goes through the Strait of Hormuz is fertilizer. And fertilizer is one of the byproducts of the oil industry as well. So fertilizer, major amount of the world fertilizer come through the strait too. And if you understand the impact of fertilizer, you could jump ahead, if fertilizer, they get hamburger and that price go up, then we talk about food that is grown. Just another item to add on to our own reality and the inflation where it come. All we get at the first shipment of pain, and the Prime Minister, in his response, is saying, hey, we can't adjust anything here because that this is how the government affords certain things, and we just don't have to pay for this increase in our salary and all of that. And I tried to see that there's no argument where care water. And the reason why the argument no care water is that you cannot make budgetary decisions. You can't have no government makes commitment financially factoring in unforeseen war, which takes up the price of fuel, which then increases the tax benefits to the government. So essentially, by saying that, the Prime Minister is saying you can't stop we windfall. You can't make we give up this brata. So what is Bukut for fuel consumers that were brought up with the government, they were for pay for government services. It's not being done saying, well, we know there's going to be a war that's going to create one extra for we. This is not like you created some new industry that is providing new tax benefits to the government. You have found oil or anything like that. This is a windfall that is based on on very tragic circumstances that results in a painful reality to everybody. And so we have every right and an very reasonable request to say we have to be protected, we have to receive some kind of mitigation effort for not left we completely exposed to the pain where it come. Again, the experts, they say, even if the war ends today, the consequences of this disruption will be long lasting. And it's unlikely that this war ends today. It's unlikely that somehow the Strait of Hormuz is going to be opened up within the next 24 hours. It is a deep, complicated, and challenging thing, even for the world's greatest military that has been boasting about all its successes in this war. And yet yesterday, or I think maybe the day before, the President of the United States of America has been appealing after 15 days or so, is appealing to allies, we need you to come and help. That's how complex trying to get control of this strait is. No, that is above us. We know in a war. But what it means is that the greatest military and the most powerful country on earth has created for itself and the entire planet a great conundrum, one great dilemma, one complex piece of trap. It's a trap. The planet has entered a trap. And so the outlook is right now, as we speak, not a good one. It's not a good one. So this not get better by weekend or get better by month. So we can't have a situation where we are being told, well, we need the barter, because the barter is coming as a result of pain. And so it's an unacceptable position to say, oh, we can't really do anything about it. Like, yes, the fuel goes up, the acquisition cost goes up, and that is unavoidable. But the proportionate increase, you have one kind of compounding thing, because within the price we pay for the gallon of gas, there is a tax on a tax. That component is not inevitable. That is a structural a process that is facilitated by the way the government taxes fuel. So yes, the fuel goes up, and we can't do nothing but a certain percentage of the increase. But the level at which it increases is being dictated by the way it's being taxed. And there should be no way that the government says that we need the war in Iran to go on, because that's what you're saying. You're essentially saying that I have expenses that only a war in Iran can take care of. That is essentially what is being said to us. Like this not that complicated. It's not. So it is. You can make it seem to us Like, we can't do nothing because this are like, man, they know we caused the war, they know we involved in the war, and once on war, they all goes up. Like, yeah, they all goes up. We talk about how much it goes up by. Now, that part there absolutely is within the control of the government of Belize. There are certain inevitable cost of living increases that we won't get. Fertilizer won't have an inflationary aspect. Food prices won't go up. This are one bitterness. The entire planet, they say, boy, look what you do. What have you all done? They create economic hardships, and the small countries like Belize will face the worst. We know this is a bitterness where they come. We can't sit down and accept anybody to say, oh, but we can't do nothing for kind of just tame down that bitterness, leave it. That is an unacceptable position. And it is based on understanding exactly what the price structure is.
Watching WB, and this is XTV. Big respect to our sponsors, 4 Point Security. And right now the people are mad and
right. You know, so I try to work with everybody, but some people are just difficult. You know, I'm very insulting. We are stuck.
You don't think you have cut down on the business?
Of course, it has an effect on the business.
The word tenders again with the price we can of the gas. You understand? So
your 2 cents.
My 2 cents would that be.
Your 2 cents.
That's a chance. That's injustice.
Your 2 cents.
Habet and Abet and Brothers Abet, we've always proudly celebrated Women's Month. This year, we celebrate women keeping the balance at home, at work, and in their communities. That's why all March long, all women receive 15% off store-wide, from paints to plumbing and everything in between. Plus, 20 to 65% off lots more deals on sale and clearance. With trusted experience, top quality products, and service that's second to none, we're here to support women every step of the way. Visit or call us today. Happy Women's Month from all of us at Habet and Abet and Brothers Abet, doing our part to balance the scales.
En Atlantic Bank, tu comodidad es nuestra prioridad. Nuestro centro de contacto está diseñado para mejorar tu experiencia bancaria. Con una amplia gama de opciones de servicio al cliente, ahorras tiempo y esfuerzo. Puedes llamar fácilmente para bloquear o desbloquear tus tarjetas de débito y crédito, realizar consultas de cuentas y acceder a información detallada de tus tarjetas. Ya sea que necesites asistencia con la banca en línea, apoyo para comercios o consultas generales, nuestro equipo está listo para ayudarte. Para mayor comodidad, si todos los operadores están ocupados, puedes dejar tu número y un operador te devolverá la llamada lo antes posible para asegurarse de que recibas el apoyo que necesitas. Para mayor seguridad, es posible que necesitemos verificar tu identidad con un conjunto de preguntas sencillas. Recuerda, Atlantic Bank nunca solicitará tu nombre de tu usuario ni contraseña de Atlantic Online por llamada telefónica, mensaje de texto o correo electrónico, asegurando que tu información personal permanezca segura y protegida. Nuestro equipo de apoyo está disponible de lunes a viernes, de 8 a.m. a 6 p.m., en inglés y en español. Simplemente marca al 223-1212. Esta es la línea dedicada para nuestro centro de contacto. Atlantic Bank se compromete a brindarte un servicio excepcional y las herramientas que necesitas para administrar tus finanzas de manera conveniente y segura. Aprovecha al máximo nuestro servicio del centro de contacto.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Smart for everybody. Smart leading everything. Smart give you everything. Smart offer everything. Smart give you everything. North to the east and the south and the west. Smarter the best, darling. Double up my data and give me all the text. In fact, give me a plan for my family. Unlimited calls, so me like it. And smart make everybody feel happy. Bringing people together, me want it now. Smart got love for everybody. Me want my smart plan, want it right now. Me want my smart plan, want it right now. More bundles, data plan. Me want my smartphone, internet in my hand. Cause me want my smart plan, want it right now. Smart. Stay connected, stay happy.
Tired of appliances that just don't last? Appliances that just can't keep up? It's time for a change. GE Appliances delivers reliability, innovation, and performance you can trust. The decision is easy. Don't settle for less. Choose quality, choose reliability, choose GE.
Colenso Technical High School rolled out the Education Upliftment Program in the school year 2025-2026. Under this program, first farm students are able to get free uniform, 3 sets of uniform, and all students at Colenso Technical High School receive free tuition, free meals. In addition, all students are provided with transportation to school and back at home daily. Most of the parents are very grateful for this opportunity as it is a rural area and one that has economic hardship.
Most times I would think, why don't I just stop school and try help them around? Because money, financially, it may be a bit hard, but with this upliftment program, it balanced our lives out to creating a better environment for both me and my sister.
It hurted a bit seeing my grandparents struggle, trying to find $1 here and then to send me to school. I was sad, I was depressed, I didn't feel the urge to come to school anymore. But now, with this upliftment program, it helped me a lot and I really want to further my education.
We were financially burdened and we were struggling and it was very stressful. But when we heard this project has been in play, it has decreased the financial burden. And also recently, since I was diagnosed with lupus, financially it has played a big part of our life. It was mentally challenging to say the least. Also couldn't concentrate very good. But now with this project, everything just flow more smoothly.
Look here, your kitchen light there and you been in the kitchen.
Mama going back in there right now.
And the coffee maker?
Just to try keep me the coffee warm for later.
Where do you know?
I'll try to think about what to eat.
You know the more you open or close the fridge, it takes longer for the food cool. For a hot day like today, it burns more energy. You charge your phone right now?
No.
Plug it out then. You really only wash 2 Lee socks and 1 Lee shirt? You don't know what small load burn the same amount of electricity as large loads?
But this is my favorite shirt.
You have to be more energy efficient. Use large loads. This AC they blow hard. You know, if you keep the temperature at 25 degrees Celsius or higher, you burn less energy and you also keep the place cool. And for a nice day like today, turn off the AC, open up the house and make some fresh breeze come in.
You know what? I think I get it now. As consumers, we need to be more energy efficient and practice energy conservation.
When the job demands more, Milwaukee Power Tools are designed to handle the toughest jobs on the construction site. If it's speed, durability, and performance you need, Milwaukee is the perfect choice. For unstoppable power at an unbeatable price, make it Milwaukee. Nothing but heavy duty. Available at Benny's. Quality and savings.
Amandala is now online. You can now access Amandala's midweek and weekend issues online by logging on to our website at amandala.com.bz/news and joining our membership portal today. There's 5 easy steps to get unlimited access to weekly e-paper, archive publications, and a host of other exclusive contents. Number 1, go to Amandala's website. Number 2, navigate to subscribed areas. Number 3, choose a membership level. Number 4, check out using our secured portal. Number 5, log into the members only section. Telephone numbers 501-280-4703 or 202-4477. Fax us at 501-222-4702, or you could email at amandalapress@yahoo.com or amandalapress@gmail.com. Amandala, all power to the people.
To the WB Wake Up Billy's Morning Vibes. It's Monday morning, the 16th of March, 2026, on Creme Radio, XTV. We're bringing you the Monday morning edition of Wake Up Billy's Morning Vibes. I'm Mose Hyde. The telephone number is 672-4770. Right now, joining us virtually, I'm hosting remotely, and joining us virtually is Business Senator Kevin Herrera. Good morning, Senators. Good having you here to start the week. How are you doing?
Good morning, Mose. Thanks for having me. Always good to be on your show.
All right. Let's start right where it's hottest. You've been very clear. You've been very forceful, along with your other independent senators in the kind of, at this point in time, disapproval of the elimination of competition via BTL acquisition of proposed acquisition of SpeedNet, and opposed to that, but also very concerned about how this entire thing has been handled. Now we see PUC coming out with its declaration about BTL being a dominant entity in telecommunications with that certification. What are your updated thoughts about this entire thing as we speak here this morning?
I think it's consistent. Most I don't think our position has changed at all. I think that acquisition leading to a monopoly is really never a good idea. I think that we've all lived under a telecommunications monopoly before, and we know how tough that can be. I don't think many of the newer industries in Belize would have been able to develop the way they did had it not been for competition, had it not been for lower rates, more affordable rates within the sector. And so it's extremely important, I feel, for the future development of the country that telecommunications and telecommunication rates remain competitive. And I feel that there are no better safeguards for that than competition. I think that we've seen the release from the PUC. I've also seen a letter that was sent, a letter, I believe, and I think it's official, from BTL to PUC asking for a review of a regulatory review of the acquisition. And so I think that it's still a very important issue on our plate, and I think that it's important that we all remain engaged. I don't think that the people behind the acquisition are backing off, and neither should we. I think that we need to remain very much engaged and in order to try to persuade those who are pushing this issue, and especially the regulatory authority, to do their jobs and to make sure that at the very center of their consideration should be consumer rates and the overall health and future development of the economy.
Now, let's start there. In this segment, I will try to be play the role of, you will have to listen to me through. I don't want to. I think your audio. I don't know if you have because there's going to be a delay if you try to listen to me through the device. I think you would have to just listen to me through just this link that you have, Senator.
Sure.
Okay, so for this segment, I will do my best to play the role of neutral journalist. So, looking at this and say, okay, our concern is about competition, and we've heard the Prime Minister and we've heard PUC say, well, we can create legislative changes to take care of the concerns of BTL using its monopoly position to essentially, disadvantage the consumers. We're going to protect them. We're going to have some kind of tariff increase ceiling. We're going to, we will protect you. What are your thoughts about the potential for that?
That's a really, really, really good point, Mose. I think that you know how it is right now is, and this is what competition is. Competition, the companies bear the risk. With a monopoly, especially a monopoly as important as a telecommunications company, the consumers bear the risk. And so if there's ever a situation where the monopoly, even with the most ardent scrutinizing and regulatory work by the regulatory authority, and they see that that this company is running into trouble, what will they do? They'll have to grant them, as inefficient as they may be, as expensive as they may be, they will have to grant them whatever monies they need to stay afloat. And that's why the consumer is carrying the risk. Right now in competition, companies have to figure that out. And I think this is a key point that sometimes we miss, is that a company as important as the only telecommunications company in the country cannot be allowed to go down. You know, we've all heard the term too large to fail. Well, that's what will happen here with one company providing telecom services in Belize. It's too important to fail, and so the authorities will have to do whatever is possible to make sure that they are able to operate, even if it means higher rates than they would like. They'd have to do it because there's only one there's only one company supplying those risks, and that's why the consumer is carrying the risk in a monopoly situation, and that is one of the most important point I think we need to look at when we're looking at monopoly versus competition. The whole argument that the PUC will be hyperactive in terms of regulating that company and making sure that they don't take advantage of the consumer. Very well, might well be that that's their intention. But I'm saying when it really comes down to whether or not that company is allowed to go down or address consumer rates up to address whatever shortfalls they may be experiencing, that's what they'll have to do, because there's no way they could allow the only telecommunications company to go down.
Now, Senator, you're one of the persons to whom a presentation was made by BTL, that's right?
No. I was never at a presentation with BTL, but I understand the Chamber of Commerce, and I also believe the Belize Business Bureau, some executives from those organizations had attended one.
Okay, so you is there any plan presentation or any invite or any request, anything in the planning?
No, I haven't. I haven't heard from them, and I'm not necessarily interested in one unless they're willing to provide certain information. I believe that the information on SMART is extremely important. For example, what is their financial situation? What are their assets really valued what are their assets really valued? Have we brought in an independent technical expert that can look at the real utility of the assets that exist?
Are those deal breakers? Are those deal breakers for you? The absence of that means we can't even start a conversation.
It's difficult because what would they tell me? I mean, other than what we've seen on the news over the past couple of months, to me, that is important. And if they can't even say what the company is worth, what the profitability of the company has been over the past 10 years, how will we evaluate in any intelligible way? What the possibility of that value is? Is it? I mean, the thing is we have to compare whatever we see there with the $70 million price tag. That would be very helpful, but I haven't seen that information, or am I optimistic that will be released. I think that from all we've heard is that this information is private and they're not willing to divulge it.
Okay. To what extent is the Prime Minister's relationship with SpeedNet a part of the red flag for you and basically factored in to the position that you have taken as an independent senator?
Well, the thing is with it is you'd always want to, in the back of your mind, in looking at and assessing any potential deal, you'll always want, a situation that is arm's length in fact and in appearance. I don't know what role, if any, the Prime Minister is playing in the actual negotiations, or what type of control he has over members of the board. I really don't know that. So it's difficult for me to make any type of definitive statement on it. I can just really speak to the facts that I know of, which is moving into a monopoly situation and the impact that that may have on the overall industry.
Is there any? Well, I can't say. I think obviously, if you were to hear that SpeedNet was available for the cheap on a mil or 2 mil, would that alter your view of it?
I don't know. We'd have to look at it, Moses. That and that was a large issue.
Is the cost of it?
For example, $70 million. BTL being saddled with $70 million for assets that may or may not be useful. We don't know because we haven't seen any type of technical assessment on that. In an era where you're having satellite competition coming in as a new technology in town, certainly worries me, because in my view it may actually be a handbug in terms of being able to compete effectively by BTL, and so that's certainly a concern. $1-2 million. I don't know, most, because
I'm sure the price would not go down to that. But I was just
of course. But I'm saying I think you're making the point. The point is if whether or not the position is based on a principled one on monopoly, and I believe that I am very, very much against monopolies, and I believe that monopoly is not in the best interest of the country, and that's why I've never really gone into that aspect of it, or what all the other things that may mitigate the risk of high price to consumers, simply because I think that the country is better served by competition in that area.
All right, so it's a very difficult stringing of the needle for BTL to try to somehow get you to change your position as senator, because fundamentally you don't see how you circumvent creating a monopoly. And the PUC, despite all its best assurances, cannot create the level of protection for consumers. It would not be practical. So that's essentially where you are.
Yes, I mean it's. I think for me the two large issues is the monopoly and all the implications of that, and as well as who's carrying the risk in the future. I think that we have to look at it from two perspectives. One is what is really in front of us right now, and two, what will be in front of us going into the future. We cannot just think about this as a transaction between two companies, because it has tremendous implications for the country. And remember, BTL is majority owned by the public, and so I think that it's important that we engage and we look at it for what it is. I mean, this is nothing personal. I couldn't care less in terms of the players in it. I just think that it's important that we look at the overall good of the country, and I think that it will be better served by competition.
So the argument that has been put forward that, guess what, and I think this was one of the arguments put forward by the majority shareholder in SpeedNet, Mr. Michael Ashcroft. Hey, guess what? Belize, the market is too small for there to be competition in telecommunications. It's a waste of resources, it's inefficient, and so you would create a more stable, a more nimble, and a more successful company in BTL, and the benefits would be to the shareholders of BTL, the people, for you to have this kind of situation. How do you respond to that position?
I don't want anyone other than myself and the people who have to deal with this, and the people who have to struggle to pay bills on a daily basis, the companies who have to balance all everything within the company to make payroll. I really don't want anyone else to define our interests. And I think that looking forward, competition is certainly in our best interest. I understand what he's saying, but to me that carries very little weight in terms of what he has to say. I think that it's important that from a nationalistic standpoint, that we look at what is best for us in Belize. I'm really, really tired of anybody telling us at any time what is in our interests when they're in a situation to benefit from such a transaction.
Now, they say that they are going to go on extensive consultation with the people. What that means, I'm not clear. Generally speaking, consultations have been more just kind of ticking off the box. When that's our tradition of consultation. It's like, okay, we have one meeting and you show up. Or not, doesn't matter, but we will still say that we had a consultation. But let us say they have these consultations. Can you just provide those who will attend those consultations a kind of a checklist for what they should be demanding from those presenters?
Most, I think anything other than real solid information with respect to SMART, with respect to technical information about the utility and viability of SMART. I think any type of information about the future and how it will impact them. Any type of lack of information, in fact, in terms of how they intend to compete with satellite technology, and how the acquisition of SMART will help them to compete with a Sunrise type of technology like what we're looking at with Starlink. Any absence of that, it really makes such a consultation meaningless, because we've heard all the marketing before. I mean, we've heard the chairman of BTL. We've heard those who are pushing the deal. We've heard all of that, but I haven't really heard anything really substantial with respect to solid information about what we're getting into. What I do here is the cost of it is $70 million. I don't know what that is for. I really have no idea of assessing whether that is value or not from a purely transactional standpoint. And so I believe that people who go on in these consultations or participate in them should really demand that if you're not willing to put everything on the table, then what you're doing here is just really an exercise in terms of window dressing for what you plan to do, which is go through with the acquisition, I believe.
All right. Are you of a similar view that the minimum requirement from the SpeedNet data would be 3 years worth of financial information as a minimum?
Normally, when acquisition, Mose, I believe that it's 5-10 years generally, and there's a significant due diligence process. You cannot.
So you are more than you would expect more than 3 years. I think somebody.
Generally, acquisitions is a huge undertaking where everything is put on the table for review.
Why is that so important? Because I think they were saying that they're prepared for 1 year. Like, I think there was some 1 year worth of financial information, and the point was made by multiple people on the show that even a bank is seeking about 3 years worth of information from you when they're considering a loan to you. Like, and so 1 year is off, but you're now making a point that normally for an acquisition, you need to start at 5 years. Could you, for the benefit of those people who will be attending such consultations, explain why that is so important?
Because whenever you're assessing companies, most you want to look at trends, and it's hard to get any type of trend from 1 year. I mean, it's quite possible that companies could have a bumper year. And so what you want to do is assess risk. I mean, when you're looking at any type of acquisition, you're really trying to assess risk. What are the risks? What am I getting into? Has this company has this company had a consistent operations over a period of time? And so it's difficult to do that with 3 years. I mean, you normally want to go further back than that.
All right.
So what you're looking at is operational risk. You also, going further back will allow you to look at, when they purchase certain equipment, how old those equipment are, whether or not they may be obsolete. And this is if you don't have the technical telecommunications experts who can assess equipment and that type of thing. But you could also look at it from the standpoint of looking at it on the books. And so when they were purchased, how long they've been there, how much they've been depreciated, that type of thing. It's difficult to do that on a 1 year look.
How do you qualify an independent audit? How do you qualify that? How because we've had this kind of debate. Oh, we had an independent, somebody I think connected through South America that looked at this. How do you vet what is a legitimate exercise in some kind of independent looking into here?
Well, yeah, I mean, independence is one thing, and the terms of reference, I think, would be the other. In terms of if you engage a company and assuming that they're independent, meaning that they have no connection with you or with the company that is being assessed, and then you look at the terms of reference and what really they're looking for. And so I haven't seen that again, so it's difficult for me to determine whether or not there was complete independence there. But I would think that those are some of the things that you want to look at the surface.
There is a side, I won't call it a side issue, but it's an accompanying complication for BTL at this time with the Police Communication Workers for Justice challenge for their severance compensation and the interest of 6%. That has emerged in the middle of all this back and forth about the acquisition, where we found out about the CCG's ruling in late last year, essentially ruling that BTL has been violating the labor law by denying severance payment for workers, and they have been willing to deal with those the appellants in the case, a group of 15. But now that the matter has understandably that should have been anticipated, that's the way a ruling goes. In fact, even in jurisdictions around that are under CCJ, this ruling will impact workers and what they will demand. So we've had this now back and forth where the Prime Minister has weighed in. Do you have a position, or do you have any thoughts about this matter?
No, I mean, I think we need to look at our system, Mose, and I mean, there are disagreements all the time in business, in labor, whatever. And then we go to the courts, and if we are not happy, we go through the whole appellant process, which I think is exhausted at the CCJ, and they have made a ruling, and I believe that that is it. Now I think what happened is that the company seems to have somewhat of a different interpretation, and I've seen all the pressure being brought by the unions on it, and I believe whatever that ruling is needs to be followed. Now, when there's a disagreement about a ruling, sometimes you have to go to court again for an interpretation, and I imagine that may well be what needs to take place. And it relates to, of course, the 6% and how far back that goes. But if there's an impasse there, I mean, then obviously I believe the parties will have to go to court again to get an interpretation of that. But to me, it's not an insurmountable issue. I mean, that's why the courts are there.
I am of the view that that's generally an acceptable solution for all actors except the government of Belize, because essentially what the ruling has indicated is that the government of Belize, remember now, this is a decision that they began, that it can be traced back to 1994. And so essentially what that ruling says is that the government of Belize is guilty of violating its own labor law. And that now the company might have gone through multiple phases of ownership, but at the commencement of this, it was government, and at this point in time, it is government. I feel that the government should be absolutely be moved by embarrassment, by a level of remorse, a level of contrition. Essentially, on your watch and on your authority, workers were denied what is rightfully theirs by the law that you wrote. The Labor Department failed to even intervene or implement or enforce any part of that law, and it forced employees to have to essentially to take on immense risk legally to try to get this matter all the way up to the CCJ. I can absolutely understand why a worker or workers are not in a view of compromise and are expecting the government to do what is morally right, to show some genuine sense of mea culpa, because as a business person, Kevin, you understand the impact of money that is denied and the consequences of not having that money at that time. So, for example, if I retired in the 90s or early 2000s, the investment that I could have made at that time, whatever the money I could have spent on my child's education at that time, like all the different things that I was prevented from doing. It's really why you have to have an interest rate that reflects that in what exactly has been the loss of those workers. And I feel the government should absolutely err on the side of atonement. They should err on the side of saying, listen, we have done, I think the rough estimate is about 700 to 800 workers wrong here. I don't know that you then come and say, well, if you don't like what I'm prepared to give to you, you can go to the court. If there's a dispute between me and you as individual private citizens, given what you advocated for, that is natural. For me, I will hold the government to a higher standard. They are the defender.
No, of course. Actually, Mose, I think it's, and like you said, I think it's embarrassing given that they were willing to pay, somebody was willing to pay $90 million for 3 cable companies and $70 million for the speed net, and so it gave the impression that money and finances were not an issue, and then taking through the workers through all of this after a significant ruling by the CCJ, to me really speaks volumes in terms of the position and how the workers are looked at. But like I said, I believe that the farmer workers of BTL really have the recourse of the courts. That's where disagreements are. I know that the pressure can be brought to government, but sometimes that process is slow. Sometimes, it's probably quicker to go to the courts for an interpretation. I think that the ruling was clear, and I believe that that would clear it up pretty quickly.
When we come back from break, Senator, if we're able to hold on to you for another segment, I would want to take you into the most recent problems that we are faced with, if you don't mind, the escalating and the potential for even greater economic problems for our country as a result of what's going on in the West Asia, Middle East, with this war that has now enters its third week. But we will take a break, Senator.
Sure.
Right here inside the WB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes.
Belize is transforming the way taxes are managed with the Semi-Autonomous Revenue Authority, a modern system built on flexibility, efficiency, and accountability. SAR will have its own human resource policies, ensuring faster hiring, fairer opportunities, and competitive pay that rewards performance. The SARA will also manage its own budget, making it easier to fund what matters most: better technology, improved taxpayer services, and stronger enforcement when needed. With this flexibility comes responsibility. Independent audits, public reports, and parliamentary oversight will ensure full transparency. SARA's transparency, flexibility, and efficiency will ensure smarter decision-making, better taxpayer service, and responsible use of public funds. SARA, flexibility to serve you better, accountability to serve you right.
Rotavirus is a leading cause of severe watery diarrhea and vomiting in young children. It can lead to dangerous dehydration and hospital visits. The good news? The rotavirus vaccine is now available countrywide. It is given in drops at 2, 4, and 6 months of age. Protect your child. Visit your nearest health clinic today.
I feel very happy for Francisca, a single mother who has struggled a lot, and this house is going to be now theirs, and it's an opportunity for a new beginning.
I'm tremendously excited and honored to have received this present. I applied some years ago, and the response that I received was spectacular, and I'm completely happy about receiving this home. I cannot wait to spend the first night here with my girls, and have this sense of feeling that I finally get to own something.
Turning that key feels amazing. It's ours. We can walk how we want to walk in it, be loud, have fun memories, That's what I'm trying to create for them.
I feel very grateful and happy that we're in a new house and we can move around how we want and make as much noise as we want.
It's a huge step for me and especially my son to own our new home, and I'm looking forward to make it even more extended so we can have even a bigger home eventually in the future. I am happy and excited. My birthday was yesterday, so today that's a perfect gift.
I'm very grateful, excited about my house, something I can call my house, and for my kids. as soon as you become a mother, everything you want is the best for them. So I'm very happy to have my own safe place and also for them.
It's a good feeling because it's not only the house we're building here. In this development that we did here, we acquired the property, government did, and we distributed to over 56 needy residents. And I believe this is the 4th house in this area. So it's an accomplishment to know that the people in this area didn't have where to live before, and now they have an opportunity.
Nando's Wholesale is your market leader in Belize's wholesale industry when it comes to high-quality products at the most reasonable and competitive prices. With over 40 years in the wholesale business, Nando's Wholesale embraces the partnership of the hotel industry in Belize by providing world-renowned brands in wines, seasonings, condiments, and cleaners in industrial sizes, as well as small and large kitchen appliances and equipment. Nando's also takes pride in providing one of the quietest and most durable air conditioning systems in Belize with technical support and spare parts. Nando's Wholesale. Professional, reliable, effective, and prompt. Nando's Wholesale always delivers. Visit us at www.nandos.bz or send an email to nandos@nandos.bz. Or, even better yet, give us a call today at 222-500 or 280-8080 to speak to one of our sales representatives today.
Amandala is now online. You can now access Amandala's midweek and weekend issues online by logging on to our website at amandala.com.bz/news and joining our membership portal today. There's 5 easy steps to get unlimited access to weekly e-paper, archive publications, and a host of other exclusive contents. Number 1, go to Amandala's website. Number 2, navigate to subscribe areas. Number 3, choose a membership level. Number 4, check out using our secured portal. Number 5, log into the members only section. Telephone numbers 501-280-4703 or 202-4477. Fax us at 501-222-4702, or you could email at amandalapress@yahoo.com or amandalapress@gmail.com. Amandala, all power to the people.
right, welcome back to the WB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. Monday morning, it is the 16th of March, 2026. Mose Hyde hosting remotely on this Monday morning. And we've had, as our guest, after our very first break, business senator, Senator Kevin Herrera, and we spent our first segment talking about the BTL proposed acquisition of Smart, in a situation in which Senator Herrera has been very, very strong and clear, along with his other independent senators. As business senator, I think it's appropriate, relevant for me to bring up the topic of the economic costs of the war in West Asia going on between US, Iran, US, Israel, Iran. And our first shipment of pain from that conflict arrived late last week in the form of almost 11% increase at the fuel pump for regular and premium, no cost increase as yet for diesel, with the likelihood of more increases and more inflation, cost of living increases as a result of this dispute. What are your early thoughts on this, Senator?
Yeah, over the past several years, I think that the entire global political situation has been very much worrisome. I think that we seem to be moving away from a rules-based system. And I mean, we all know that those rules were always skewed towards the very wealthy, powerful nations. But irrespective, there was a rule system in place. It seems more and more that we're moving to, a system where it's almost like the laws of the jungle prevail. And that's worrisome because for smaller countries who don't have huge militaries, for most countries, in fact, I should say, who don't have huge militaries, cutting edge military technology, we're vulnerable when we're not operating on a rules-based system. And so the order that preceded what we're seeing right now was really to protect, in some ways, all of us in terms of, from what you're seeing. Now, when you can have countries just going over borders and taking others over, like what we've seen in Ukraine, what we've seen in Venezuela recently, the stifling of Cuba in the Caribbean, and now you're seeing it in Iran. What we're seeing is just a massive power play, and I don't know if but when you look at what the reserves of Venezuela was, Venezuela had some of the largest reserves in the world. Iran has.
Yeah, I think we might have lost connection there with Senator Herrera. Just give us a second before we're able to reconnect with him. I imagine he's just going to link us back. It's not a perfect process. We hopefully get Kevin right back very shortly. This is the WB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes on this Monday morning. Trying to, if you're just joining us earlier on, I kind of went in on the position that we have taken, or at least the position that we've heard from the Prime Minister of the country about the increase, and saying, well, everybody very easily could have predicted that this would happen once that war kicked off. But we have Senator back. Sorry about that.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, no problem. Go ahead.
My apologies. My apologies about Mose. But like I was saying, what you're seeing here, Mose, is a massive power play. You look at the oil reserves in Venezuela, you look at the oil reserves in Iran, and then you have all the other Middle Eastern countries generally friendly to the United States that have very huge oil reserves again. And if the U.S. is able to control the oil in Venezuela, or at least have a friendly regime there, and as well as one in Iran, you see what that means for other emerging, other huge powers like China, who are so dependent on energy. And so, in my view, I mean, I think that's what it's about. It's really a massive power play, and so it's, you know, I believe that the world will be a very, very difficult place until we try to sort this out and see where we go. But it's very, very concerning in least. I mean, it's certainly not good news for for us. And I must say, I'm not at all in support of dictators wherever they may be. I believe that the people should always decide. So it's not about that at all. I just feel that I don't think that democracy is at the heart of what we're seeing taking place here. I believe that it's more about resources and getting control of those resources.
No, I don't know if you heard my comments when I started the show, at least in the first segment, at least of the show. I have had this position now for a while, for consecutive administrations who have argued that the price is the price. And once I was taken to school and explained exactly what we pay when we pay that price at the pump, I said, I don't agree that any government should want to be in a position where it enjoys a jackpot benefit simultaneously with an increase, a painful increase at the pump for Belizeans. This is not an emotional or unreasonable or being unreasonable, because, well, who wants an increase, but certain things are inevitable. So yes, crude oil goes up, unavoidably there will be an increase. There will be an increase in acquisition costs. You can't get around that. My problem is that the way that the tax is placed on the fuel at the pump, an increase of acquisition costs, the tax is then put on the acquisition costs, and then there is then that's the duty, and then there is a tax on top of that grand total, which means that the government has a windfall. The Prime Minister, when asked, I believe it was on Channel 5, I read the script of his exchange with the journalist from that station, says, well, remember that government has expenses. We have a increase with salaries we have to pay for teachers and all of that we are guaranteed to. And yes, what is due to Caesar goes to Caesar. This is not what we're talking about here. We're talking here is that, so the government then, when it makes its budget and decides what it can pay and what it will pay, is hoping for a situation like this in the Middle East so it can get the extra money to do it. It's like, that is essentially what you're saying to me, that you are hoping for this to happen. You are hoping. This is a global tragedy that has taken place with this war, and all countries will have to deal with it. But telling me that I should not expect you to mitigate it because, well, I have bills to pay as the government, says to me that you are completely disconnected from everyday realities and the impact that this is going to have, the inflationary impact that this is going to have on the people, especially when this is not at a cost to you. This was not money that you could have possibly have foreseen or budgeted for. You are just saying, I know to give up this barter. I don't care if you to feel pain. I have a problem with that.
Opportunism.
It is.
Opportunism. Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. I think that for a long time, so much of our taxes is pulled from fuel, and then you see it in the reverse. When it goes down, it seldom goes down at pace. The taxes seldom goes down with pace pace with what the world market prices for oil is going, and so there's always that misfit, if you will. I think that that whole process most has to be a lot more transparent. I think that people have to be more engaged with respect to the price that they're paying at the pump, and put pressure on government, in terms of trying to bring those down. I think that for too long, I think we've been very complacent with that whole oil prices. I mean, it goes up, we pay it, we complain to each other, but there's very little that is done in terms of organization. And I think that the time has come for a lot more transparency to be brought in that area. I think that, and this is exactly the reason why I think that we have to be fully engaged in whatever government does, most because we pay for those inefficiencies, we pay for those wastes. And so, yeah, the Prime Minister may be right, they have to pay all of these, but why do you have to pay all of these at the level you're paying? There's a lot of waste, there's a lot of excesses that exist in government that can be addressed and should be addressed. But until that happens, they'll be looking at these opportunities to get more revenues to pay for those, because they're always trying to balance something.
So sorry for you, fuel buying public, but we are happy with this Iran war. This is good for government business. This is good for government budgeting. That's essentially what we're being told, Senator Herrera. From the business community perspective, I mean, there's only so much you can pass on to the consumer, because the consumer is going to figure out how to try to cut back to survive. That's what's going to happen. The price is going to impact at least, not everything. There are certain necessities you can't get around, but businesses will have to look at the increased cost in production. If you're in, say, for example, in the restaurant business, you say, well, I will pass on the price increase to, the plate of food is going to go up from 12 to 15, but it will cause me to spend less, go out and dine outside or buy takeout the way I used to, because I have to deal with that reality. So it's not just easily transferable from the business standpoint as well.
No, it's not at all. Fuel is the price of fuel is extremely inflationary, and so what you'll see is the price of everything going up because of this, and it's hard to contain. And there's very little. Well, in terms of the world market prices, I mean, we have very little control over that. But what I think we do have some more control over is like what you said. How the taxes are applied to fuel, giving consumers a break and trying to soften that impact in whatever way we can. I think that that process, like I said, has to be a lot more transparent, and government has to.
Oh, I think we might have lost Senator Herrera there momentarily, though, because I'm sure we're gonna get him back. Just bear with us 1 second when we kind of get the senator back here. It's imperfect connection, so we just try to make it happen. It's WUB, Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. Of course, like many Belizeans, where this hurts you a lot. You can't change the distance that you live from your home to work. You cannot change the distance from where you live to your farm, or the cost of using the equipment that you use on your farm. You cannot, if you're a fisherman, you can't change the distance from where you are to where is your fishing grounds. We are going to experience some of this increase right here with our, the whole Easter break coming, and you're going to buy fish. Senator Herrera, the fisherman don't have one choice. We are upset, but where he have to do? He can cut a distance in between where the fishes are biting and the fish market. This is just the reality, the ways that this impacts us. And I I want to be clear to the listener and viewers. I am not saying that an increase is avoidable. Most countries are experiencing an increase. The problem I have is that the size of that increase can be mitigated and should be. There is a duty to do that.
Of course, and to me, there's also significant explanation to the Belizean people. I mean, I saw the interviews given by the Prime Minister before he became Prime Minister, and they were very different from what they are now. And I mean, that's expected to some degree, but I'm just saying is that, we really have to try to be honest and straight up with the Belizean people. The impact that this type of increase has on, the productive sector, those who are farming, producing out there, who rely a lot on transportation. You mentioned the fishermen. About everybody is impacted in one way or the other. And so, the rising fuel prices is always very inflationary. And the thing is with that is, this is not something that just goes up and come back down. We don't know how long this war will last. And so we really have to look at it in terms of, down the road a little. We really don't know where it's going. Iran is, we have to recognize, and Ms. Koye probably would be able to tell you this best, but Iranians are civilizations that are thousands of years old. They've been through this many times. They've been through conquest many times. They've been through invasions many times. I mean, they know how to survive. They know how to fight. They certainly won't capitulate to threats and bullying and that type of thing. And so expect that it may last a while. I mean, they were forced like that. And we're seeing in terms of, we're seeing what they're doing in the Strait of Hormuz. I mean, they've stopped shipping completely. About 20, that accounts for about 20% of the global oil passing through that area, and that basically has stopped completely. And so we don't know how long this impact will last or how long that situation will remain there. But it's certainly very.
What the listening and viewing public has to be very conscious of is that there is the possibility that even if the war were to be finished today, that the disruption itself will have long-term consequences. What I've read a couple articles, economic articles, comparing it to the length of disruption in 1973, I think, and the fact that it resulted in a decade-long, you would say, a downturn, global downturn in economic reality for most countries. It's like it takes a while to recover from an infection like this. No, maybe it is a lot of lessons were learned and this is avoided. It's not like I'm saying there's a guarantee. It's just that there's a lot of fear that this disruption, even right now, if the war finishes today, that we are in for a very long, rough, unpleasant ride.
Extremely, Mose. I mean, you look at, a lot of the oil infrastructure has been damaged, in bombing on both sides. And so we don't even know what the production capacity will be after the war. Many of these countries may have to acquire additional debt just to, deal with the inflationary fallouts that they may be facing. And so the impact will be long, difficult. We really don't know. And so we really need to look at it, not in terms of the short term, but look at what the potential impact will be down the road and see how we can best survive it.
Senator, I want to thank you for joining me this morning, for sharing your positions, especially on the issue of the proposed BTL acquisition of SpeedNet, I think as you so accurately opined that this might not be something happening. I have a call coming in, so let me just take this call. WB, good morning.
Good morning, Mose. This is Sandra Coy.
Good morning.
Two observations. First of all, the release of the international reserves by the International Energy Agency, that's being released to have some mitigating effect. And they're releasing it according to regions. So I don't know what's the amount to be released. I don't know if Belize would come under the Caribbean region or the Central America. I don't know which region we would come under. But what I know is they are releasing the most historic amount in the history of the agency. So that alone
I think it's 400
should allow mitigation. That's the first observation. And the second observation is, I don't know if in the discussion with the Iranian foreign minister, not the discussion he had with Tom Yamas on NBC, the one he had on CNN, he announced there, I treat it as an announcement, that all the ships that will be allowed, all the fuel transports that will be allowed must pay in the Chinese currency, the yuan. They must pay in that. They will not be accepting American money. The implications of that are vast. So the war won't end if for no other reason. It won't end because of that decision. Because that decision constitutes a restructuring of the global financial order. And I don't know that our leaders are even looking at that and taking that into consideration. You see? So I wish you, Mr. Gentleman, Mr. Herrera would comment on that.
Okay. All right. Senator?
Yeah, I mean, I think what Ms. Coy is getting at is the whole concept and principle of petrodollars. And, but I mean, I know that, 400 million barrels of oil, reserve oil has been released, and that's really to try to quiet down the market and buy some time. But like I said, I don't think this conflict, from all I've read and seen, is something that will be, a couple of days or possibly a couple of weeks. I think it will go on for a while, because I think that the stakes are very high, especially for the Iranian people. I think that they want to maintain a control and independence of their resources, and I think that and of their government and the structure of their government. And I think that that struggle and that fight will continue and for some while yet. And so, irrespective of oil, what oil is passing through or allowed to pass through, there's also the issue of insurance. Insurance companies, from what I've read, are prohibiting or not covering or don't want to cover, the risk of anything moving through that strait right now. And so again, that is certainly a factor that will hold up any type of ships taking on that risk to move through, because the cargo is extremely expensive. There's been a long discussion, about when some of these countries will be able to move away from the US dollar in terms of trade and carrying out, certain transactions. I still think that's a way off, Mose. I don't think that that's something that will happen in the short term, but certainly something that can be looked at. I believe that in my view, it seems like the U.S. is consolidating its positions. And so if they control oil in Venezuela and they control oil in the entire Middle East, and the U.S. itself has one of the largest oil reserves in the world as well.
Senator,
they control a lot. And so the power of the U.S. dollar to monopolize those transactions, I think, will probably be for a while yet.
Senator, how far-fetched is it as a concept? Because when I think about ways to minimize our vulnerabilities, how far-fetched of an idea would it have been for us to explore increasing the storage capacity for fuel in the country? It would seem to me that a small non-fuel producing country like Belize would have seen it strategic to have created at least a capacity for fuel reserve, especially when it is we have a favorable price, to kind of give us some kind of buffer. Am I being unfair to think that should have been a consideration by our leaders to say, okay, this is something that we could do and should explore?
I certainly think it should be a discussion, and it should be something that is at least discussed. Most I know that in terms of, I know the U.S., a lot of that reserves is actually held in the ground in huge, I believe, salt enclosures way beneath the surface. I don't know what above the ground storage would mean. I know that there's some evaporation and loss that takes place, and so that type of thing, from a technical standpoint, I think that type of thing would have to be discussed in terms of if it can be stored on a long-term basis over the ground. Does it have to be under? What type of facilities would need to be created to do that? Those are certainly issues I think that are worth discussing. But I really don't know enough about the technical aspect of the storage. I know how the US stores it and some of the other countries. I don't know if you're not getting into that aspect of it, if it can be stored over the ground and what the cost of that would be. But certainly I think any type of reserves would help in situations like this where you have this huge impact, and it certainly save the people and give them some time before the impact actually takes effect.
Senator, I want to thank you again for joining in and staying extra time with us this morning and sharing your thoughts and views and positions on very serious issues, very important issues. Hopefully we can link back again soon.
Sure, Mose, and always good to have this discussion with you. Take care.
We will break and come back with more WUB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes.
I'm so excited and I'm so blessed because I always wanted a home which I could call my own, and I'm very happy, excited that it's in me. I don't really can't express it all, but I'm so happy and glad.
We at Housing pushed to ensure that we put a case strong enough together for her so she could enjoy a home with all the basic facilities, because these things are human rights: to have a bathroom, to have somewhere to lay your head in peace, to have shelter that's not leaking, to have a kitchen that you can function as a mom.
I want to thank the Father God for life and also for the blessing that come in my way. It was my little twins. I'm a grandmother now, and today I received this house. The blessings coming. Thanks. I wait. I say God will make a way, and it came true. The dream finally come true. And I would like to tell everyone out there, it's not just a house, but it's a foundation that will be for a better tomorrow.
I feel overjoyed. I'm happy. And of course, these days are always bittersweet for me because there's so much more that I would love to give my people of Khaled. However, on one full basket, I really have to give a shout out to the team at MIDH, the minister, Miss Mar. They're on top of their game.
At Atlantic Bank, your convenience is our priority. Our contact center is designed to enhance your banking experience. With a wide range of customer service options, you save time and effort. You can easily call in to block or unblock your debit and credit cards, perform account inquiries, and access detailed card information. Whether you need assistance with online banking, merchant support, or general inquiries, our team is ready to help. For added convenience, if all operators are busy, you can leave your number and an operator will return your call as soon as possible to ensure you receive the support you need. Depending on your transaction type, we may need to verify your identity through a set of security questions. And remember, Atlantic Bank will never request your username or password for Atlantic Online via phone call, text, or email, ensuring your personal information remains safe and secure. Our support team is available Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. in both English and Spanish. Simply dial 223-1212. This is a dedicated line for our contact center. Atlantic Bank is committed to providing you with exceptional service and the tools you need to manage your finances conveniently and securely. Take full advantage of our easy-to-use contact center services today.
Atlantic Bank. Building the future together.
Nando's Wholesale is your market leader in Belize's wholesale industry when it comes to high-quality products at the most reasonable and competitive prices. With over 40 years in the wholesale business, Nando's Wholesale embraces the partnership of the hotel industry in Belize by providing world-renowned brands in wines, seasonings, condiments, and cleaners in industrial sizes, as well as small and large kitchen appliances and equipment. Nando's also takes pride in providing one of the quietest and most durable air conditioning systems in Belize with technical support and spare parts. Nando's Wholesale. Professional, reliable, effective, and prompt. Nando's Wholesale always delivers. Visit us at www.nandos.bz or send an email to nandos@nandos.bz. Or, even better yet, give us a call today at 222-500 or 280-8080 to speak to one of our sales representatives today.
Amandala is now online. You can now access Amandala's midweek and weekend issues online by logging on to our website at amandala.com.bz/news and joining our membership portal today. There's 5 easy steps to get unlimited access to weekly e-paper, archive publications, and a host of other exclusive contents. Number 1, go to Amandala's website. Number 2, navigate to subscribed areas. Number 3, choose a membership level. Number 4, check out using our secured portal. Number 5, log into the members only section. Telephone numbers 501-280-4703 or 202-4477. Fax us at 501-222-4702, or you could email at amandalapress@yahoo.com or amandalapress@gmail.com. Amandala, all power to the people.
Whether you are a busy person or stuck in traffic or having an adverse or very demanding circumstance, tension builds up, causing you to be stressed out. Stress attacks everyone, anytime, any age. And stress is a killer. Palm City? It's best to be alive than dead. So visit Freetown Drugstore to get options to relieve stress and to relax your mind.
Yes, sir. What can I do for you today?
I'm so stressed out.
Okay, after that, help you out right now. When I this daily, for 10 days, I am good after that, okay?
Okay.
Freetown Drugstore, 28 Freetown Road, where you are better off alive than dead. Freetown Drugstore, telephone 223-2876.
Wake Up Believe's Morning Vibes. We're out of time, but before we part ways on our last break, let me just take this opportunity to express my best prayers to Ruben Morales Iglesias, who I've found out via social media is hospitalized, gravely ill. And I know I've seen a lot of prayers go up for Ruben. Ruben, you were never on the same. Well, we had one occasion when we were on the same team. We did a broadcast together, which was a historic broadcast. It's the only broadcast that we've ever done as a simulcast between two opponents, meaning ourselves and Love, when we went to the Gold Cup in the United States, and we did joint broadcasts. Otherwise than that, we were always on the different teams, but I have immense respect for Ruben as one of the most professional persons I've met in media. Professional, dedicated, and tireless. The voice of sports reporting for a very long time, and continued his reporting on Facebook. So his love for sports is definitely, cannot be disputed. I just think of Ruben as being one of the most professional media persons that I have met in my time in media in Belize, and so I want to just wish him all the best, and I hope that he pulls through. I don't know much about his condition, how he's doing this morning. I know that's what I've read on social media, and so I'm hoping that he's going to pull through whatever challenge he has medically right now. And so I just want to send that out to his family. All right? Tremendous respect and admiration for the one and only Ruben Morales Iglesias. We've just had that voice with us for a very long time here in sports journalism in Belize. All right? We're going to go out with our final break. Just want to thank Larry G at Creme Radio. At XTV, of course, we've had Cliff, as usual, the glue, and to Christy Flowers, who's been in control of this broadcast and making sure it's seen and heard. We thank you very much. Stand strong, stand firm. Tomorrow morning we'll be back. For now, a final break, and after that, you know it. We're gone!
The Belize Tax Service has been serving the country well since its inception. But like many tax administration systems worldwide, it faces new challenges that require modern solutions. The Semi-Autonomous Revenue Authority, SARA, will be established by legislation that will modernize how Belize administers taxes. Countries across our region, Jamaica, Barbados, and Guyana, have undertaken similar efforts at modernization, and we're using their experiences, successes, and challenges to design a SARA specific to our tax landscape. SARA will operate under the Ministry of Finance with an advisory board comprised of experts in finance, tax, law, and public administration who will provide sound guidance while maintaining the required oversight of public funds. SARA will provide the framework for modernizing tax administration, improving the way we serve taxpayers, and supporting Belize's development. A semi-autonomous revenue authority, SARA, will create opportunities for improving human resource management, accelerating digital transformation that reduces turnaround time and paperwork, and providing more responsive customer service while maintaining strict accountability standards. SARA, a progressive tax administration for a modern Belize.
Smart for everybody. Smart leading everything. Smart give you everything. Smart offer everything. Smart give you everything. North to the east and the south and the west. Smart are the best. Darling, double up my data and give me all the text. In fact, give me a plan for my family. Unlimited calls, so me like it. And Smart make everybody feel happy. Bringing people together, me want it now. Smart got love for everybody. Me want my Smart plan. Want it right now. Me want my Smart plan. Want it right now. More bundles, data plan. Me want my smartphone, internet in my hand. Call me want my Smart plan. Want it right now. Smart. Stay connected. Stay happy.
En Atlantic Bank, tu comodidad es nuestra prioridad. Nuestro centro de contacto está diseñado para mejorar tu experiencia bancaria. Con una amplia gama de opciones de servicio al cliente, ahorras tiempo y esfuerzo. Puedes llamar fácilmente para bloquear o desbloquear tus tarjetas de débito y crédito, realizar consultas de cuentas y acceder a información detallada de tus tarjetas. Ya sea que necesites asistencia con la banca en línea, apoyo para comercios o consultas generales, nuestro equipo está listo para ayudarte. Para mayor comodidad, si todos los operadores están ocupados, puedes dejar tu número y un operador te devolverá la llamada lo antes posible para asegurarse de que recibas el apoyo que necesitas. Para mayor seguridad, es posible que necesitemos verificar tu identidad con un conjunto de preguntas sencillas. Recuerda, Atlantic Bank nunca solicitará tu nombre de tu usuario ni contraseña de Atlantic Online por llamada telefónica, mensaje de texto o correo electrónico, asegurando que tu información personal permanezca segura y protegida. Nuestro equipo de apoyo está disponible de lunes a viernes, de 8 a.m. a 6 p.m., en inglés y en español. Simplemente marca al 223-1212. Esta es la línea dedicada para nuestro centro de contacto. Atlantic Bank se compromete a brindarte un servicio excepcional y las herramientas que necesitas para administrar tus finanzas de manera conveniente y segura. Aprovecha al máximo nuestro servicio del centro de contacto.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Project, big or small, Best Screws provide strength, efficiency, durability, and affordability. Get the screws specifically designed for your next project. Get Best Screws, the power to build, the strength to last. Available at Benny's, Quality, and Savings.
The Belize Tax Service has been serving the country well since its inception. But like many tax administration systems worldwide, it faces new challenges that require modern solutions. The Semi-Autonomous Revenue Authority, SARA, will be established by legislation that will modernize how Belize administers taxes. Countries across our region, Jamaica, Barbados, and Guyana, have undertaken similar efforts at modernization, and we're using their experiences, successes, and challenges to design a SARA specific to our tax landscape. SARA will operate under the Ministry of Finance with an advisory board comprised of experts in finance, tax, law, and public administration who will provide sound guidance while maintaining the required oversight of public funds. SARA will provide the framework for modernizing tax administration, improving the way we serve taxpayers, and supporting Belize's development. A semi-autonomous revenue authority, SARA, will create opportunities for improving human resource management, accelerating digital transformation that reduces turnaround time and paperwork, and providing more responsive customer service while maintaining strict accountability standards. SARA, a progressive tax administration for a modern Belize.
Smart for everybody. Smart leading everything. Smart give you everything. Smart offer everything. Smart give you everything. North to the east and the south and the west. Smart are the best. Darling, double up my data and give me all the text. In fact, give me a plan for my family. Unlimited calls, so me like it. And Smart make everybody feel happy. Bringing people together, me want it now. Smart got love for everybody. Me want my Smart plan. Want it right now. Me want my Smart plan. Want it right now. More bundles, data plan. Me want my smartphone, internet in my hand. Call me want my Smart plan. Want it right now. Smart. Stay connected. Stay happy.
En Atlantic Bank, tu comodidad es nuestra prioridad. Nuestro centro de contacto está diseñado para mejorar tu experiencia bancaria. Con una amplia gama de opciones de servicio al cliente, ahorras tiempo y esfuerzo. Puedes llamar fácilmente para bloquear o desbloquear tus tarjetas de débito y crédito, realizar consultas de cuentas y acceder a información detallada de tus tarjetas. Ya sea que necesites asistencia con la banca en línea, apoyo para comercios o consultas generales, nuestro equipo está listo para ayudarte. Para mayor comodidad, si todos los operadores están ocupados, puedes dejar tu número y un operador te devolverá la llamada lo antes posible para asegurarse de que recibas el apoyo que necesitas. Para mayor seguridad, es posible que necesitemos verificar tu identidad con un conjunto de preguntas sencillas. Recuerda, Atlantic Bank nunca solicitará tu nombre de tu usuario ni contraseña de Atlantic Online por llamada telefónica, mensaje de texto o correo electrónico, asegurando que tu información personal permanezca segura y protegida. Nuestro equipo de apoyo está disponible de lunes a viernes, de 8 a.m. a 6 p.m. en inglés y en español. Simplemente marca al 223-1212. Esta es la línea dedicada para nuestro centro de contacto. Atlantic Bank se compromete a brindarte un servicio excepcional y las herramientas que necesitas para administrar tus finanzas de manera conveniente y segura. Aprovecha al máximo nuestro servicio del centro de contacto.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Voice our opinion and place your calling. WB. Get up, make every day count. Don't waste it, people. Do your part.